Hey, everybody. Welcome to Sexy Nerd Science, Season 5, Episode 19. I'm Drew, here with Josh and Dale, as always, on Facebook Live. Or a bunch of things live.
Not always on Facebook Live. I wouldn't put it that way.
As here, as always, with Dale and Josh, but on Facebook Live, like, Facebook Live. Not like, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Dale, let's do some shout-outs.
Okay, so I wanted to bring this up now for a little bit. I go over our statistics for SoundCloud and whatnot. We actually have a large percent of people listen from Australia and the UK.
Australia.
And so I wanted to say, shout out to those guys.
I already did. I said good day.
I bet they love that.
It's nighttime there, so good. I'm pretty sure it's
good night, mate.
Good very early in the morning.
Yep. I do want to do a shout out to somebody who listens to us on SoundCloud exclusively, Gina, or Gitana.
That's my mom.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, there's a Bobby Brown on there too, so that's why I'm.
What does it say?
Gitana 74.
Yep, that's my mom. She was born in 74.
Okay. And also Bobby Brown is?
Yeah, that's my mom too.
Okay.
So
I have two of those.
Just giving the evidence away that we have people creating multiple accounts to listen to us to pump up our viewers.
And then also Nicole, she's listening to us. Shout out to her. And then also there's a large chunk of people from Japan as well. And San Francisco,
Regatta,
kicking it out.
Those
San Francisco?
All that
city is San Francisco. Second is
Darkstar. Are you listening to this right now? Maybe.
It's all that.
Keith?
So we just want to say thank you guys for listening and obviously enjoying what you're listening to. So
nice, Mom. I'm not sure how it's spelled. Probably the second way. Crikey.
Oh yeah, I think it's with a C actually.
Whatever.
I do know it's actually with a C because I watch Crikey We're the Irwins all the time.
Wait, so is that in the name of the TV show?
Yeah.
So is it spelled with a C?
Yes.
Is it spelled the second way or the first way?
Neither.
Well, I mean with a C, I'm saying.
Neither. Okay. If you were to replace the first C or any of those with, yeah.
Whatever. I don't know who this is. My mom's tagging people in this. Anyway.
Go ahead. Tag people. Share it.
Share it. Like it.
Derek, if you're still watching, give us
a lot of stuff. So we're going to jump into it, as always. Amazon has been doing some really cool stuff. Josh, did you finish this all the way?
I did.
Dale, did you watch any of this?
I watched all of it.
Oh, look. There's only 6 episodes. Was that how much it was?
Yeah.
Say I watched the first 2, so if you're confused at this point, likely so because I have not said the name of this this production, but Good Omens. Josh, what do you think?
So the reason why I was talking about this and I wanted to bring it up today, there's a petition to cancel Good Omens from a bunch of religious conservatives that are like,
not anymore now.
Well, but the reason why there was this idea
prior to its release, was there?
I think once it started getting traction, people got embarrassed and took it down.
Yeah. Because they were like, "Hey, Netflix, cancel Good Omens," and Netflix responded, and they're like, "On it."
That's funny.
Netflix doesn't air it; it's on Amazon. That's the funny part.
That's funny.
But I thought that was hilarious.
I mean, I think had they not like really screwed it up with that Netflix thing, they might have had some footing because if you remember the new Sabrina the Teenage Witch had the quote unquote satanic sculpture in their episode.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I mean, I guess it's their mascot for the Church of Satan. They were awarded like a bunch of money. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's similar, or whatever you want to call it.
I didn't know. I was assuming it's Baphomet.
It's Baphomet or literally the other 12 names it could go by. But it's very similar to theirs. it's not exactly similar, but they were like, "You're stealing our IP," and somebody was like, "You can't copyright God or Satan," but Netflix was like, "Fine, just shut up," and they gave him like 100K or whatever. And then religious nuts were like how would Netflix is giving money to the Church of Satan or whatever. So it's just this big back and forth of
Wait,
like,
the Church of Satan suing Netflix?
yes, they sued him because they used their copywritten,
Which is weird because that doesn't seem like. I mean, they're just a lot of nice guys, and I wouldn't have a
Shut the
suit
fuck up,
like
Josh.
that. No, like I'm not kidding. Like there's like a very positive PR campaign for the Church of Satan. Yeah, campaign
the campaign
for the Church of Satan. Like it's not like sacrificing goats and stuff like that.
Wow.
because their literal mascot is a giant goat man.
Well, so let me ask you this: the whole point of like maybe this is not like real life theologic talk.
Probably not.
It's probably not. The devil itself was a fallen angel. Is that not correct?
We're talking Good Omens still, or
We're talking about real life.
I mean, what the general lore is,
theologically speaking, yes.
So theologically speaking,
and Lucifer speaking, yes.
My question is, when did the devil go from like just like disagreeing with God to full on evil, wanting the whole world to suffer?
After the creation of man.
And so man made him completely evil?
I don't think it was man that was completely evil.
It was more so like.
So do you watch Lucifer?
I don't necessarily watch Lucifer, but no. I mean, this same thing's covered in Supernatural, covered in Good Omens, and covered in a bunch of other things.
The way it's presented in Lucifer
and in the Bible.
Well, yeah, but
which I have.
I'm asking Bible way. That's all I'm asking.
Bible way. Lucifer got jealous.
Yeah, which is literally where I'm going with the Lucifer thing. I mean, that's it. Thanks,
yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just. Hey, it's biblically accurate.
Yeah.
But so back to Good Omens, because this isn't nearly as spot on for theologically speaking, and I think that's why like a lot of people are freaking out about it too, because they're like, oh, the voice of God is a woman, like. But then there's also Metatron, who is the voice of God that's in there. So I'm kind of just like,
Wait, hold on. So you're talking about like Dogma Metatron, like the person that speaks for God?
Biblically speaking, Metatron is the voice of God.
No, yeah, because
yes, he's in Dogma. Yes, it's in Supernatural. Yes,
so
it's
in Good Omens, Metatron is a woman.
No, Metatron's a dude, like a dude angel.
So you said she,
but the narrator.
But there is an actual God that's narrating the show that is female.
Oh,
and she refers to herself as I did this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think she says like I am God, but she just kind of like, well, I did this that one day, and I was tired, or I don't know.
And so, like a lot of people didn't like that. They didn't like the angels and demons being buddies. But the biggest thing is like, go ahead and cancel it after its first season. There's no other material that they could like.
I think to continue on would be a mistake.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's so the guy who created it was literally like, if we want to do more of this, we got to do it together with the other guy who was helping with the show. And the guy who was helping with the show, like, is flat out like, we're not going to do anymore. I promised him I wasn't going to do anymore because now the creator's dead. So it's like not happening. So they just finished it.
So did they specifically pack everything into like the first season then because of that?
I mean, they left some stuff open, like the way the books do. But because I was assuming there were supposed to be more books following this, but they just never got written.
Written?
Written? Writted?
Isn't it wrote?
None of us are English majors, so there's that. So next thing here is All That has come back with their second episode. I didn't watch it because I thought it came out Sunday night.
So Saturdays, everybody.
Saturdays. Got it. Go ahead. Is it good? Was it better? Was there more cameos?
I say it was a lateral move. I think it was no better than the first episode, but not worse. Like, I mean, there was one skit where I was kind of just like, but like there were other skits where I was like literally could not stop laughing.
Yeah.
So really liked it.
Now and there was a cameo. was it different or was it?
It was Hushbomb, the teacher, the librarian teacher.
Well, you didn't. I was just to say if it was a different actor.
Oh,
You didn't have to fucking spoil it for everybody, Josh.
well, then it wasn't a different actor either, though, because she was in the first episode.
So no other callbacks or whatever.
No, I'm saying
Not yet.
I'm saying you didn't have to spoil what the skit was.
I didn't.
Spoiler alert, Josh. You didn't say.
Oh,
It.
Hushbomb.
I'm just saying she's there. You don't know what the skit is. She's been in
Whatever.
other skits,
Whatever.
but also Daddy Yankee was the guest for
Daddy
music.
Yankee.
Yeah, and
Didn't
I was
he
like,
quit music like a decade ago?
I thought so. I'm just like, this is really an old song.
Bottom of the barrel for the musical artists.
I have a
Yes.
country act on next week, I think.
Well,
but-
I bet it's going to be what's his bucket in this hotel room.
No, it's not. Lil Nas X, I would have known that.
Yeah, I was just a joke.
Gonna take my horse to the hotel room. Those aren't the lyrics, but I like them anyway.
All right.
We can't get sued for that because I was off key.
Yeah, that's the reason.
You better be singing every fucking intro. So this weekend I went camping. Mom says it's rote, and she says I am. I don't know what that means, but we'll get that confirmation later. So we went camping, Tasha and I, and the tiny little wee baby Thea, and it was pretty fun.
No, Charlie.
No, she's out of town with mom for her vacation this week, so or till Wednesday.
So Drew took a vacation.
So we did a camping trip at Two Rivers, which I thought was closed indefinitely, but it was only closed indefinitely because you couldn't get there. I mean, they had some flooding, but the bridge for F Street was busted, I guess. I didn't know that. So the was possibly the bigger reason why you couldn't get there or why you couldn't go. But they opened it up in May, end of May, so we went. Very buggy because of all the bugs and the water and all that stuff. But other than that, it was pretty good. Smell like smoke still because I just got back this morning, but we're good to go.
Cool. Was there any besides the bugs? Did you guys fish? Did you guys hike or anything?
Smells like man. It doesn't smell like smoke.
No, we didn't fit. So because of the river flooding, they Shannon, I promise you I will make Dale get you a zip up hoodie. I promise. Okay.
He did once before, to be fair.
And it was just ridiculously bad quality,
Terrible.
and weird shaped.
Camping was fun. Josh, pop culture literacy question for we went with Becca and Shay, our good friends. Shout out to them. They paid for the camping spot. So we didn't have to, but we did.
Your mom's an English major?
Yes.
No, you're not an English major. You're a liar.
Maybe she has an English degree, and her job is no longer that.
I don't know.
Just want to apologize for making not the best first night that you were camping.
Oh, it's fine.
I made Drew drive all the way back to town.
We're past it.
Tell me why.
I can't tell you why, but
So
I made Drew drive
I need
all
to
the
give
way back
him
to
the phone bill money.
Yes, and we returned a lost dog to its puppy
I
parent.
heard about that.
And
Okay,
the
so-
dude was super ungrateful.
Okay, so hold on. Josh was like, I saw this dog, and I was late to pick Brittany up from work, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting here in his driveway, and I'm like, is that the dog? Like 4 hours later. Shit, you not. 4 hours later, it's literally like in his front yard again. And so we spent like another hour probably chasing his dog out in the middle of the night.
Midnight. It was literally like you got there at like 11:45, and it was like 12:40 when we got the
And
dog home.
So we kind of corral this dog into this yard, and as soon as it gets in this yard, it knows exactly where a hole in the fence is. Like, I shit you not, as soon as it went through the gate, it beelined for this hole, and I was immediately like, this dog knows this fucking yard. So I went around, and he's scratching at the door, like get ready to knock on the door, and the lady opens up her door, and I was like, "Hey, is that your dog? I was sorry to scare you or anything." And she was like, "Yeah, it's my dog," and she shut the door, and I was like, "Oh, well, he was out on like the main road. Like, sorry."
Yeah,
Just trying to
Through the
run
door.
around. And he had to have been out there for 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was out there before 9.
Yeah.
Josh was doing it before 9, so
Yeah, because I chased him around for about a half hour trying to catch him, trying to get him like corralled because he had tags on and everything, but he was like running across. So like I live on like the major Old Town Bellevue street. I guess that's one of the ways to put it. And people just fly down that road. Like my dog got hit and the person didn't even stop. They were just like, "Oh, hit a dog. Cool. Bye." And just kept going. Like, so like it was one of those things. I was like, I don't want this dog to get hit by a car. So I'm trying to like corral it to get it back home safely. And I was just it was late and the person didn't even care their dog was out.
Pop culture literacy.
Yes. Okay. So for our favorite segment my favorite segment, Dale's least favorite.
This is my least favorite segment. I thought I would like this when we first started it, and I was like, I've just been going downhill too much.
It's okay. Dale, if you look at the scores, we're almost the same.
We are not almost the same. I am less than 50%, and you are
Exactly 50%.
Are you talking about like
in sexy, like pop culture literacy?
Okay, I get that.
I was like, I am exactly at 50%,
And also
7/16.
So, which anyway, go ahead, Josh.
Yes. So this week's pop culture question is going to be about the new movie that just came out, Child's Play, starring Aubrey Plaza and a murderous little doll named Chucky. And Dale, can you tell me who the voice actor is? Famous voice actor, who voices the doll Chucky in Child's Play. No helping from the audience, please.
No, I cannot.
Oh, come on.
I have no idea. I've never seen any of the Chucky movies.
This is big news in the nerd community.
No, I have no idea.
Drew, do you know who it is? Oh, I didn't even write who it was in the question I gave you.
I don't.
You don't know either?
No.
Okay.
My immediate guess. I don't know. No.
Yeah, let me guess real quick. Let me see if I can recall.
And I'm not the one on trial here.
Also going to be not just a voice actor, he's going to be an actor in a movie coming out this year as well. Very famous movie coming out. Probably my favorite movie that's ever going to come out.
I don't know. Did he play all the Chucky movies?
He did not, I don't believe.
Okay.
I think this is his first time doing the voice. Yeah, because it was a comedian that did the voice earlier, I thought.
Yeah, the early ones were...
I'm going to say Harrison Ford just because I can.
It's the same movie franchise.
I knew it was your favorite one. You keep giving me so many spoilers.
It's not Harrison Ford, though.
I'm taking a shot in the dark. I have no idea.
Mark Hamill.
Really?
Yeah.
Mark Hamill? That's crazy. I didn't know that.
I honestly thought this was going to be like something that Dale got because I've seen it a lot on our nerd community.
I haven't seen anything. Did you know Mark Hamill actually did the voice of Firelord Ozai?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
He also was the voice of the Joker in the original Batman.
Just for that,
I would give you half a point for knowing that he was Ozai. That's
no, because I looked that up.
Look that up.
Well, of course, I guess we all look something up. That's how we know it.
Some days, yeah.
We get our information from the internet.
Yeah, but no, okay. I'm taking that as a loss for me.
Okay.
We'll have a good one. Next, all right, when we're at the con, we're going to have really special questions for like our nerd battle, so I'm really excited.
Mm-hmm. Okay. This nerd battle is going to be a quickie. So we're going to get into nerdy news here. Talking a lot about the Ocon Expo for 2019. Ocon Expo is going to be the 28th, 29th, and 30th at Mid-America Center in Council Bluffs, Iowa. We're going to be in the Bud Light Pavilion, now called the Project-Nerd Pavilion. And it is the 5th annual Omaha convention held in Iowa.
That's great.
Do you want to say anything else about the number 5?
Yeah, it's also our 5th year being there. High five.
Let's ask the people, guys.
Okay.
We have 6 people watching. This is a
So
legit
Josh,
question.
And only 2 people participating.
Okay,
Okay,
so
so-
let's legit ask this question.
Okay.
So me and Josh, Drew, and I have had a discussion. Sex Nerd Science started just under 4 years ago, just after Comic-Con,
Which was in the first week of July.
which was in the first week of July. Right after, which gave Drew and Josh the cojones or whatever, gave them the ability to start, or the knowledge to start, Sex Nerd Science.
I'd say knowledge.
Sex Nerd Science, then the first episode aired slightly after, maybe a week later, of Comic-Con.
Because it was... Yeah.
Would this Comic-Con, or would this Comic-Con be Sex Nerd Science's 5th, or would it be Sex Nerd Science's 4th?
And I just also want to say this. As a podcast, we did review the first year of Comic-Con in our opening podcast episodes. Like, obviously the first episode was like, here's who we are, here's what we do. But even our first Sexy Nerd of the month at the time, because we were doing that, or Sexy Nerd of the week, was Michael Wilson
from
Comic-Con, because we met him at Comic-Con. So like our first official podcast was technically about our experience at the first Comic-Con.
Yeah.
I'm not ask is, would we refer to this Comic-Con as Sexy Nerd Science's 5th Comic-Con, or sorry, we just saw Shannon's comment.
Nobody cares.
Or would we refer to this as our 4th Comic-Con? Because have you told Shannon about this argument before?
Don't think I did.
I think it does matter, because like if we
put
do
branding into the
we did, and if we go further on, like I don't want us to be like, oh, our first, like Comic-Con 1 for us being Comic-Con 2nd annual Comic-Con. I just don't think it lines up right. So I like saying that this was our 5th Comic-Con.
Here's the other
5th
caveat:
annual.
is we had talked about it and looked at what was happening at Comic-Con prior to going, and one of the things that drew us to go was the 5th-ish, 4th-ish. One of the things that drew us to going was, call it 5 because you have 6 whole people watching. One of the things that drew us to go was the podcasting 101 panel, because we had talked about it literally weeks prior, like within the week and a half prior to going to Comic-Con.
And also I was in cosplay, so that's the other reason we wanted to go. But
well, yeah, but that.
So other thing too, this kind of reminds me of the exact same thing. So I'm not going to name this person's name because she could actually be watching, but it is a she.
Who is it?
I can't say it.
Say it.
Don't cut it out of the actual recording.
But yeah, I'll cut it out of it.
It's live stream on our Facebook.
There was a question that said, when people are counting, do you count 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, or do you count Mississippi 1, Mississippi 2, Mississippi 3, Mississippi 4? And I was like, traditionally, I always count 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, when I did that. But if you count Mississippi 1, Mississippi 2, Mississippi 3, the good thing about that is if you're halfway through the word Mississippi, then it's, after you said 1, then it's 1.5 seconds. Whereas if you say 1 Mississippi, if you don't finish the word Mississippi, then you still technically haven't made like a second, I guess. So I think it makes more sense to start at 0 Mississippis, essentially, and then move on to...
Well, that's why I think the beginning of the podcast, as soon as the podcast started, was where 0 started, and then it continued on. So as soon as we released that first, then it's positive numbers. But until then, everything was...
But because Ocon didn't say it was their 0th con, it was their first con, and that's what they started with, 1. Like, this is an age-old thing. Like, literally, like, there is no year 0. It just started at 1, and then
year 1
like has messed with things ever since then. And then we didn't have the 1st century until after the 1st century already came. So when you hear people refer to like the 19th century, it's the 1800s, because people got the naming scheme wrong back in the day. Like they couldn't settle this debate back in the day. So that is still a thing that's controversial now. Because you can't start at 0. Like this event was 1, and that's why we are calling the event 1 for us. I think that was my thing to Dale on the phone, and Dale's like, I know, I just hate when you're right, so I don't want to admit that you're right.
Oh, yeah, I can't believe he said that.
But then you guys got into
Give her
it.
a kiss. Give her a kiss, Dale.
You guys got into it
Give her
even
a
more
kiss.
via our chat, and I was just like, you guys need to chill out. Like,
Give her that kiss, Dale.
end friendships.
Mwah.
All right.
For those of you listening, Dale just kissed Amanda
Real quick.
with his fist.
Ocon tickets are $40 for a 3-day pass for the 5th annual Ocon Expo. We'll be streaming live events all weekend on the Project Nerd Twitch, and we'll be doing our own panels and podcasts in the Project Nerd Pavilion and in the Podcast Plaza. We'll also have pop-up lockers and the photo booth there.
Pop-up lockers.
Pop-up lockers. What did I say?
It sounds almost like you say pop-up blockers.
That's
like you're blocking a pop-up.
That's the joke.
I know, but
because it's a nerd thing. You can buy tickets now at https://oconexpo.com/tickets/
that's it.
That's it. I really wanted Dale to do this bit for the box office thing.
That was all me though.
We have to. Oh, okay.
So I wanted to talk about this in nerdy news because we were looking about nerdy news. We were talking about, like Good Omens, all that. There's been a lot of like nerdy movies coming out this summer that are just terrible flops. And it's really upsetting to me because like I thought Men in Black International was going to be like a great movie. I didn't see either of these two movies because of how like I was skeptical of the review.
Look at that fancy.
Yeah.
Look at that fancy.
Oh, look at that elephant that we got from one of the conventions at one point in time. Yeah, but Dale just likes elephants. I don't know why.
Oh.
But yeah, so Men in Black International and Dark Phoenix, both two very nerdy franchises, just didn't do any good. Like, I mean, they're just losses for the franchise to the point where I don't think anybody's going to want to be a part of, like there's not going to be a Men in Black International 2.
No,
there's not going to be, obviously the Sony Dark Phoenix X-Men thing's gone.
Yeah, realistically, that franchise of X-Men kind of hit a downward like slope a while ago with like the third one.
It was like it was bad when there was the what's it called? When it was X-Men 3, that was bad. And then First Class kind of like redeemed itself, I think, and it kind of like became popular again.
Well,
and then like Apocalypse was like terrible, and then Phoenix just didn't stand a chance.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I just want to shout that out. Sorry, Men in Black and Dark Phoenix.
I think we're a little pressed for time today, so I think we'll probably just skip the nerd battle this week.
Yeah, let's just talk about what our nerd battle is going to be next week, though.
So yeah, wow, Dale's not here.
Well, we don't have to say what the thing is, but
Dale had to poop. Sorry.
It's okay.
So next week we're going to do a live nerd battle kind of on our podcast in the podcast pavilion. Nerd battle, basically, if you're new to it, Josh picks a character unbeknownst to Dale. Dale picks a character unbeknownst to Josh. And then basically we kind of have them do a battle based on that information. That being said, I am kind of host / judge of that. We could even call it a podcast within a podcast, which is part of my favorite podcast. But anyway,
Incepticast.
So the theme is always kind of thought about or I guess talked about the week prior. So we're not doing a show this week because we forgot to that last week. But this week we're going to choose what the topic is or what the battle is. Let's see, Josh, what are you thinking?
You can't ask me because I'm going to be really biased.
Yeah, I know.
And if I say it, it's going to be good, and you're going to want to do it, and then I'm going to win. I probably won't win actually, but
I have to get there by myself, is what you're saying.
I would like you to.
Okay. Space battle.
Space battle.
Was that it?
Like, no, it wasn't. Was it like starship battles? Or
You know what? I'm gonna go with a vehicle battle.
Okay,
Let's so it's not like an actual person, like person,
but like starships fighting,
like starships. Like you can have Star Foxes. I mean, you probably don't want Star Foxes because his blows up after you hit 3 rocks.
Yeah, but you could put Corden, the big one, the big fox one.
Oh,
that you fight in Smash Brothers.
Yeah,
that would be. I don't want to give too many ideas. I've got some really good ideas. I'm pretty.
So let's do. I don't want to call it like limited to space. I don't want to like limit it to space. I will because we're going to be doing it live. We're going to do a land and a air team. So
a land and air team. So
yes. So basically, Dale's joined while he's on the pot. So we'll do basically each person. It's like a tag team sort of. Each person will get a land ship and an airship. What?
I mean, say what you will, but I've got one picked out up here that it'll do both just fine.
Well, I mean, you get 2, so
cool. I'll have 2 of them.
No, you can't have duplicates.
I'm not going to duplicate them. I will get you
one in one and one in the other.
Yeah.
And they don't have to necessarily be like the same battle. We'll just put them up against each other.
And remember, it's not you who's deciding who wins this time. It's you who's going to decide this.
Dale, point at the camera.
Dale's only listening. It's not like his toilet's on the side.
You see this sticks.
The hand, yeah. But so the idea behind it is we're going to have the question on poster, on a big piece of poster board, and then we hardly ever go live anymore, so this is random, Shannon. But yeah, so question's going to be on the poster board, and then my answer is going to be on one side, Dale's answer is going to be on the other side, and then we're going to have people that walk by our booth vote for who's going to be the best. And
then we'll mock it up from there.
Yes.
Shannon, I've tried to talk to him about just doing it every time we record, but we don't record as regularly
as we should,
as at the same time every week as we should. So it kind of just gets a little muddled.
But then also one of our Patreon pro things was going to be to kind of watch us do this live all the time.
Well, whichever. So that's the Nerd Battle next week. Want to hop into some sciencey news, or wait for Dale?
Yeah, we can get into some sciencey news here. Dale doesn't need to care about any of these things because he's back.
Cool. Oh, he's coming back on the podcast.
His butthole must have been burned.
Dale,
we were talking about
Did you hear of what next week's deal's going to be?
I heard airship and land ship.
So basically, yeah, we're going to do a ship battle.
So it's a space battle on a planet, in space and on the planet.
Yeah. So you're going to have 2 options. You're going to have 2 fighters this time, like a tag team.
And I already got mine.
So,
but Drew's not the one judging. So,
yeah, who's judging?
It'll be the audience. It'll be me, but I'm gonna put the winner together based on the audience. So,
very nice.
And I'll do up the poster so that neither of you know what it is or anything like that. So
that'll be really good. A trifold poster, and then you just have one side with Dale and one side with me, and then the question in the middle. We could be good. Make sure print out things and like tape them to the
with
this will be good
with like glue stick where it's not actually all the way down. It's like kind of like peeled up on the sides.
It peels off on the sides because it's wet.
Yeah.
I like that.
So Beach Buggy Racer Tesla Edition. What's that?
Yes. So Elon Musk the other day decided they're going to port over a phone app game called Beach Buggy Racer. But they were going to have Tesla cars on it, and they were going to. God, I love and hate that this is a thing because I really want it and I can't get it. So it's only for the newer computer cars, the cars with MCU 2.
Marvel Collective Universe 2?
Nope. Master Control Unit 2. But just because the old computers don't have enough processing power to run the app,
Dang. What's it cost to upgrade that?
it's impossible to upgrade the old cars to it.
Really?
Yeah, there's not enough space.
No, it's just you can't just like put a new chip in there.
Nope.
Like a little.
It's like part of the actual like glass screen thing. And also the other thing too, it's better played sideways in landscape mode than it is in portrait mode. So the Model 3 customers are going to love this. But what it does is it allows you to do beach buggy racer. You can play online, like with the phone, with the cellular connection. And you can also, there's a ranker for other Tesla people out there, but you use the steering wheel to steer and the gas and brake pedals, or the acceleration and brake pedals to accelerate and brake on the game. So while you're parked and your car is charging at a supercharger, you can play Beach Buggy Racer while you're at the charging station.
Oh, that's fun.
I think it's awesome. Like, I'm just like, this is exact. Like, there's Tesla Atari games out there right now.
Tesla Atari?
Yeah, so it's like a Atari arcade, but they're about 8-bit, kind of crappy games.
Gotcha.
This game looks cool.
It's actually a real, like, it's a really nice game. I've been watching people play it already and review it. The one thing that I'm not gonna think, like, so tire repair people are gonna be like, why is there these weird like tread loss in certain spots? Like, because your tires are on thing and you're rotating your tires left and right while your car is not.
So yeah, but is it hard? I don't know how the Tesla's built.
It's an electric power steering, so it does still move your tires.
Oh, I thought they could just.
You could just disable that.
Nope. Apparently they can't. I'm assuming probably from some failsafe. You wouldn't want your electric power steering to be like, even if you didn't have electric power steering go out, you don't want there should never be a case where you turn your wheel and it does not control your wheels.
Well, that's what I'm saying is like, it has to be, it's not electric then. It could be power steering still, but it needs to be in some sense.
It's an electric power steering system. I already looked into all this. It's an electric power steering system. It's just, there's no way to disengage the turning of the wheel from the actual wheels in the car, which again, no car manufacturer would ever want that to happen. So anyways, God forbid, like an electronic or a fuse goes out, or a hydraulic line gets cut and you can't turn your wheel.
It would just not be, because regular power steering is like not electric.
Power steering hydraulic.
Yes, exactly. So what you're saying is doesn't matter whether it's got a power steering, whatever the power steering is, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's basically,
and it is hydraulic.
Is it hydraulic?
Yeah.
When I was reading it, it said it's an electric power steering.
It's an electric assist, which means that it gives you the easeability. It's nice and easy to do with your hands, but it has to be.
I would assume, yeah. They're all probably hydraulic, because
if it's not physical, then it's not going to stand the test of time.
But even then, you're going to see some weird tread wear on these tires because of this. You can also plug in Xbox One controllers, any USB controller pretty much to the Tesla and play the Tesla Atari games or Beach Buggy.
How much do you have the Tesla Atari games?
I do have a few of them. I have like Asteroids and Snake and a couple of them. We're going to go out and play Tesla Atari.
I've got the old school Nintendo controller, but does
it plug into USB?
It's plugged into USB.
Okay. Yeah, so if it plugs into USB,
next time
we can do that in the car.
Or next time we go on a road trip.
It updates its settings. But what is Dale sending us here? The drive train. Cool. Thanks, Dale. Or the steering train, I guess.
Power steering.
Yeah. Assembly. But Tesla Atari Beach Buggy Racer is not available for the old cars, at least not yet, until they find some way to clear up some space and give me an LTE upgrade for free instead of 3G. But whatever. It's $500 if I want LTE. I'm just going to wait till they stop doing 3G.
Speaking of modding and doing some crazy things to your Tesla, one of I guess our lesser talked about, I would say probably videos that I don't know, like YouTubers that we talk about, Simone Gertz, has done a lot of cool things.
She's been out of the scene for a little while due
Yeah, I
to
was just
personal
saying.
health issues. But
Yeah, she's done a lot of cool things in the past decade.
the queen of shitty robots,
Mhm.
if you guys might
So-
know her from that.
My dad even knew who. Like, I talked to my dad about this, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I've seen that video. That's fucking hilarious." And she made the slap yourself awake alarm clock or whatever. Where you mount the thing above your bed and it slaps you to wake you up. She did something pretty damn cool, which interests me because I want a Tesla truck pretty bad, but don't want to have to wait. And she didn't either. So she took the task into her own hands and designed the Truckla or made the Truckla. I don't know if she designed it. I didn't.
She had help designing it, I
Yeah,
think.
And she also, I mean, there wasn't actually a design portion of it. They had ideas, but they didn't know what they were getting into until they opened it up.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
They had mock-ups of what they wanted it to look like. I think
So-
that's still designs, I'd call them.
yeah.
But,
Yeah, but it's very cool.
Real quick for you guys, whoever has seen it, I would have really liked to see how they actually built that into it. Did they just put a piece of wood down or steel or what they put there?
did you watch the
They have a
there's a
30-minute
link
video.
for the 30-minute video of them actually putting it all together.
No, I didn't see that one.
So
Yeah.
Dale, what they did? Do you want me
Yeah,
to?
go ahead. I'll watch it.
What they did is they took the truck bed of
Existing truck.
they took a truck bed
Yep.
and cut out the actual floor panel,
Yep.
welded that in, and then they took the back window of a GMC Canyon,
Yep.
tiny little truck, and put that as the back window. So
No. What I'm saying is like, that's just the frame. Did they like spray with Rhino or anything, or did they make it just?
I think that they just did it all. If I could remember from the video, it's all just the same color of the powder coat of the car,
Okay.
or not the powder coat, but the gloss coat of the
I don't
car.
think they painted it actually.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think
Because
when they did the video, I think they edited some of the paint stuff in post. Because it was easier for them to digitally paint the car than it would have been for them to actually paint the car.
Huh.
Because she was running, they were crunched for time. So part of the reason
That was the thing. I would like to see that last little bit of them welding it together and seeing like the extra steps.
yeah, she had a bunch of other YouTube creators. One of them specifically, Rich from Rich Rebuilds, came out.
He's my favorite.
to help with a lot of the designing of Model 3 and like cutting and things like that. There were some snags they hit. I definitely suggest everyone just go check out Simone Gertz's YouTube channel. Just YouTube the word Truckla. You're going to find the commercial they made and the 30-minute video they did for it. I think both of them were really awesome. I think the commercial is hilarious. Watching how they did the truck is great. I will say this: if you like pretty cars and you don't like people messing with pretty cars, there was a time where I got really cringy like watching this video. Like I was like sweating, my hands were clammy. Like there was a part right in the very beginning where she's like, I might as well just key my trunk, and then she went about and keyed her trunk.
I showed my friend, and she's like, "No, I can't. I couldn't do that."
Yeah. Oh my god. It was like she's like, I can't understand how anybody would want to do this to somebody else's truck.
Yeah.
And then halfway through, she's like, why would anyone want to do this to their own truck? It's like it hurts so bad. But
Man, it looks so good. It reminds me of like an old school like El Ranchero or El Camino.
it looks like an El Camino. It looks like the Subaru Outback, I think.
It also looks like
open back.
To me, it also looks like a Pontiac Fiero, but with an extended trunk area.
I
Like
could see that.
if you took the lid off of a Pontiac Fiero. Anyway, we're getting a little long here.
I'm about to be killed again.
Blind science.
You got a blind science question for me, Dale?
I do. Drew, do you have one?
No, you've got one. Why would I need one?
I'm saying, do you have one?
No,
This
I don't.
one's- Okay, Josh. Hopefully, I'm going to get you this week.
Good.
You'd give me questions in the beginning to be like, oh, here you go, Dale. Here's an easy question. I'm like, fuck you, Josh. Fuck you.
Especially after he loses, then he's like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does a fish breathe underwater?
Ooh, like gills. The end.
Oh, Josh got me again.
Yeah. Dang it. So I am going to go on a limb here because I really don't know. Obviously, oxygen gets dissolved in water as part of it's not even just like the H2O, like because obviously fish don't poop out hydrogen.
Yep.
So they're not like just bringing the H2O in and then separating out hydrogen and oxygen and then like here's some H2 and then let me have 4 oxygens. It's not doing that. So what it is there's dissolved oxygen in the water. Probably it could even be from some CO2 dissolved in the water. So some like carbon and oxygen. But whatever they're doing is in the gills, you are using some sort of osmosis and or diffusion process to strip oxygen away from the water. Similar to how so people that don't know, when you breathe air, you're breathing mostly nitrogen, very, by 16% oxygen. Anything higher than that and serious problems. Anything lower than that, serious problems. So you have to have this really good mixture of nitrogen and oxygen when we breathe to help us. And what happens is like the oxygen just gets scrubbed out of the air by our, alveoli in our lungs. And I would assume that within the gills, you have something else like that. So as the gills push the water through the gill, little tiny, let's call them fingers, I guess, with oxygen receptors on them will comb through the water and strip the oxygen away and then absorb them through themselves through some osmosis process. And then putting that in the fish's bloodstream.
That was dead on correct.
So here's the thing, Dale. This segment was supposed to show how smart Josh isn't when he can't like do the research beforehand. I feel like there's collusion going on.
There is. Okay, you have every opportunity to do questions. Okay, I am doing no collusion. I'm trying to no collusion. What is the thing? No collusion.
No collusion. No crime.
No crime. No nothing. No. I literally have to like think of unique questions that like I just Google like top science questions. It's the same 18 science questions I get. So
that's what I did for the first couple, and but like I could only use like 7 or 8 of them because the rest of them were like super fucking basic. So I was,
God damn, Josh, stop answering correct questions.
I you know what though, like I do like I'm really quick to be like I don't know the answer to this one. Like the one that I got wrong, I was like, oh fuck, space, you're killing me. Like astrophysics is not my not even astronomy is not my like forte.
All right, well, thanks for coming and hanging out with us, guys. Josh has to get going, so he's castrated.
That's true.
Dale and I and Josh will all be at Comic-Con 2019, or the Omaha Con Expo 2019 at the Mid-America Center. You guys can catch us this weekend. It'll be literally like 2 days after
this premieres. It'll be a day after this premieres.
Yeah. Hashtag Ocon Expo.
Yeah, we'll be setting up when this goes out live. So
I won't. I'll be riding a train. Choo-choo.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in to Sexy Nerd Science Season 5.
Make sure to like us and subscribe on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Don't forget to check out our merch on Teespring and support us on Project Nerd Patreon at patreon.com/Project Nerd.